Hello, welcome to another episode of the Weekly Brunch with the Loon. If you are new here, hi, I am the Loon, aka Judith Swanson, and I love to help you along your journey of self exploration as well as self growth. We go through different things in our lives, especially when we're going through our midlife issues, whether it be a male going through a midlife crisis or a woman going through perimenopause and menopause. We all try to grow, and sometimes we take self reflection and we see that we are not where we want to be. Now, at this point, I'd like to add a disclaimer. This is not someone, I am not someone with a whole bunch of letters behind my name. So I don't have a PhD. I am a graduate, but not in this field of self-development. I not a graduate. I guess I have a bachelor's degree. But it's not in this field. But this is a field that I have been working on my entire life. So I am sharing my steps and what I feel is important with you. Now that the disclaimer is done, give me 1 minute. If you are on X, I'm sorry. X does not give me, how can I say, a live updates if you comment. So I have to actually tune on that on my phone. Today, we're not hitting any particular topic, but today we are doing our monthly checkup. I am trying to do a monthly checkup every month because we started the year with our resolutions, whatever your resolutions are. And if you're following me, I just feel that once a month we should do inventory of where we are, what's going on, what's bothering us at that time. So, how you doing? It is the third month of the year coming to an end. This month was a pretty hectic weather-wise, was pretty hectic for most. We had the winter was basically trying to show us that it was not holding on and Mother Nature was not nice. I only say this because I had to go to work on on all occasions of those winter storms, and it was reflective. Hopefully you were safe during that time, and hopefully it did not deter you from your further development. Now, one of the things I have to say is here I am, if you follow me and you subscribe to me, you see I do go on occult rejects. I don't mind those topics. If they bother you, you don't have to listen. If they do intrigue you, I do plan on going further. I do have my personal channel, which I'm trying to divide which way it goes. So we'll see how that goes. I will be broadcasting on occult rejects when I jump on from here. Now, I mentioned the winter blues. How are you doing with the winter blues? How have they been with you? I'm going to share a personal story. I'm not going to mention the person, but excuse me, if they listen to this, they're going to know who they are. It was a family member, and it prompted me to ask my significant other if I have grown in the last month, because this person a year ago exactly thought I was a lost cause. And as you come from whatever trauma If you're trying to recover from whatever you're trying to recover from, it's a hard road to come from. People who you've known in the past look at you like, I don't know you, you're a shell of yourself, which is true. And it's a hard pill for you to swallow. But the fact that this particular person came to me and asked me for advice, despite my personal struggles. And yes, the one thing you have to understand on this journey, sorry. It's funny I said journal because this is one of the advices I gave the person. The one thing you have to understand on this journey that you are on, and we are all on our individual journeys, is that everybody has their individual struggles. Those influencers that you see, those commentators that you see on YouTube, on Instagram, on X, anywhere, they have their personal struggles. You just don't know about it. You're not privy to that information. I share, and there are a lot of people who come on who share. Some people say overshare, but I don't believe it's oversharing if they don't name names. I believe it's, how can I say? It's them sharing their experience. No one can give you advice if they haven't experienced it, unless they're a textbook person, which I have my own opinion on that. And a textbook could teach you so much. Experience teaches you, which is why I always say, outside of reading, journaling is very important. And actually, not just journaling, but talking, speaking to others, being mindful. You just might as well call this the Loon Mindfulness and Gratitude Station, because those are the two things that matter to you. It doesn't matter to me. What's your mindfulness and what you're going through at that time? What matters to you in life has no effect on me, unless you are a person who likes to, how can I say, I'm trying to find the right words for this one. Unless you are a person who like to lash out. And that is another thing. This is why we do mindfulness. This is why we say gratitude. So where are you? The winter blues, we're coming out of it. I tell you right now, I'm behind on my gardening aspirations because I have been doing spring cleaning, and I had a lot more spring cleaning to do than normal. Are you doing your spring cleaning? I'm trying to minimize my house, shelving things. I actually had a mishaps yesterday late in the day, and due to my physical limitations, I probably have to catch up on it. Got books to put back on the shelf, got the shelf back up after I put a chair too close to my bookshelf, sat down, and everything literally came coming down on me. But I didn't get mad. Have your attitude changed? Are you taking care of your health more? And this has to do with the conversation I had with the person. I have to say, on a personal note, the person is someone very close to me. That's all I'm going to say about that person. But as we were talking, because we were FaceTiming, they don't live in the same state as me. And they had a faraway look. The million-mile stare. And now this person's never served. But we've been through some shit. Excuse my language. I don't usually curse on this thing, but we've just been through some stuff, and we are still going through stuff, okay? Because we're family and we are linked and we go through everything. We have different views. We've had several arguments, but never in my life have I seen that stare. For the first time in a very long time, I was worried about this person. But this person came to me and they were asking me, how do I cope? Why is this surprising? For a very long time, I've been treated as someone who is over eccentric, over emotional, and blah, 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 blah. And I was humbled by this person coming to ask me for advice. But I was worried about the stare. That means life got too much for this person. What happened? I don't know. Um, but I'm sharing this because this is something that has to be addressed by everyone. We go through life-changing things. Did this person go through something traumatic? No, I don't believe so. Only because I am older than this person. This is where midlife crisis comes in. Um, midlife crisis, the perimenopause, menopause issue comes in. We are taking into account once you hit a certain age. Gen Z, millennials, I'm sorry if this doesn't intrigue you, but you may want to listen because you will be here. What was it said? I had a third grade teacher, Mrs. Roach. She's no longer with us, and she was a gem. My third grade teacher, one of the few teachers I remember their name and remember their face and will always remember their lessons. And she shared with us a parable, which I'm sure many of you have heard. You go through a cemetery and you're reading the tombstones, and you come across a tombstone that says, "Take me where I am, you will be one day." It's it's inevitable. It will happen. You will be in a grave one day. I'm not saying this to be doom and gloom, but then you have to ask yourself, have I grown in the time that I have been blessed to walk this earth? And you start to contemplate stuff like this when you're there. Have I accomplished what I wanted to in this earth while I'm here? Can I accomplish it? Is it possible to get that goal? Do I need to shift? This is why you have to be mindful. And this is why you have to show gratitude. Now, during the dark half of the year, which we are coming out of, and trust me, I feel it. I know you feel it too. I am starting to feel the bug to run out every day and enjoy the sunlight, enjoy the weather. I don't get tired at 7 o'clock at night. I have to remind myself to go to sleep. Thank goodness for alarms on the phone. Everything has its benefits. So, are you recovering from the dark half of the year? How was it for you? Was it a little rough? Did you see some things that you didn't like? If you did, what are you doing to change it? What are you doing to shift? This is tax season here in the US. So a lot of us are trying to get our taxes done if you haven't done. I've even gotten a habit. I used to have my taxes done by February, actually before February ended. I fell behind on that. Are you doing what you need to do? Did it make you look at your finances and where you're spending your money? Just so you know, FYI, there are a lot of videos out there. There are a lot of blogs out there that helps you fix those things. Then you have to ask, are you willing to make the sacrifice? The winter months are a good time for reflection because that's all you can do. You can't go out and distract yourself with going out with friends all the time and doing this and doing that. So that's one thing. Did you start a journal? When I was speaking to this person, I did ask them. I asked the questions I'm asking you, I asked them, and this person is very close and dear to my heart. And although we may have differences, I always care. I may care from a distance, and you may be in the situation where you're caring for a distance. But as spring has come about, you tend to do a lot of reflection. And naturally, because spring is the time of rebirth, of regrowth, of reinventing yourself, you may ask, how can I be a better person? How can I improve my life? And this is where journaling comes into effect. Yes, so most people write journals and they don't read it. I read my journals, and I suggest you do the same every so often. Wherever you consider the year to start, or wherever you may consider a season that you want to check. Where was I thinking, and have I grown? It's funny. I sent my significant other a text message yesterday asking, have I grown as a person? I shouldn't have to ask somebody. I should be able to look at my journal and say, I've grown. I did ask because this particular person who asked me for advice made me realize they have that much trust in me. Do people around you have that much trust in you? I am harping on this because we want to pay attention to our positive growth, not just the negative, not just what we want to change, because our positive growth can help eliminate the negative that we want to change and be a better person. If you're watching this, you are trying to find a way to be that better person. Every video I watch that's on self-improvement, whether it's self-improvement on a craft, which we're going to talk about next week, self-improvement on your hobbies, whether it be writing, gardening, homesteading, anything, there's a video out there for you. So have you improved since then? As we come to the end of March, are you still practicing mindfulness? Are you present? We tend, especially during the dark half of the year, we tend to harp on our negative habits. You're not that bad. Seriously. Everybody has their faults, which is a conversation I was having today. Everybody have their faults and everybody have their shortcomings. We are easily accepting of faults of others before we accept our own faults. And there's a reason why I say this, because to make a proper change and make the proper adjustment, we have to realize and accept our faults. And March, I always find March a very tough month. Outside of March not having any official holidays where you have an extra day off from work where you could regroup, March is also the time where you're coming out of the dark half of the year into the light part of the year. And the light always shows shadows. Shadows are shown. And the shadows that we have the most problem accepting are our own. Be gentle with yourself. So if your presence in the here and now and where you are, mindfulness helps you progress. Are you practicing your daily gratitude? There is so much to be grateful for. And I'm going to go through it because today, let me double check. I believe it is Palm Sunday. I have to see. Who's your friend? That's all I'm going to say. Yes, today is Palm Sunday. So many people are at church right now. If you're Catholic and you're getting your palm, you're going for the palms today, and you're going to get your palms. I do miss that ritual. So today is the beginning of Holy Week. That means next Sunday is Easter. I might have to shift my schedule because I do like Easter. Do like rabbit. Sorry for vegans out there. And but let's look at our gratitude to start, if you are Christian, with the Holy Week. Let's do a checklist for gratitude. Do you have a roof over your head? Gratitude. Do you have a job? Gratitude. Granted, yes, we are behind on bills, a lot of us. A lot of us are depending on our tax return to pay those bills. Understood. That's a struggle. We're going to put that aside. Do you have a means for transportation? Gratitude. Do you have at least two people? I'm sorry. Do you have at least one person that you can consider a confidant and someone dear to you that, if anything, you could vent to? Gratitude. Can you close your eyes every night and feel safe, knowing that you're not exposed, you're not out in the open, and you could have what one would love to call sound sleep? Gratitude. Are you able, after or during this particular podcast you're listening to cook food? May not be what you want, but you're able to get nutrients. Gratitude. It is important to remember these things. And that I only hit a few. My gratitude list is very, very long because I look at every little thing. I look at the fact that I am grateful that I live and was born in a place where I could practice my spiritual practices, whether others agree with it or not, with no problem. That if I am in an emergency situation, that I could pick up the phone and I know that emergency services will come to aid me. When you put your gratitude list together, these are things to keep in mind. Now, how are you doing? If you do a checklist this week, and this is what you're going to do this week, I always give homework. This is what you're going to do this week. Take an assessment of where you are as you're going into the lighter part of this year, as you're going into spring. Also, by doing this assessment, now is the time to start working on things you want to do. Do you want to go back to school? Because semesters are ending up around this time, around May, they're going to end. So now's the time to think about, if I'm going to go back to school, what do I want to go back to school for? If I want to learn a trade, what trade do I want to learn? Trades are a revolving door, so it doesn't matter by season. If I want to focus on something, if I want to get better at something, if I want to start a business, spring is a time to not just go into the garden, which if you want to start a garden, you may be 2 weeks behind, but you could start your seedlings or do direct sow depending on your situation. This is the time to do it. What you plant in spring, you will reap during fall. That goes for intention. That goes for physical food, anything. So, how are you? I guarantee you that if you do an honest checklist for yourself, you're in a better place than you thought you were. I'd like to leave you with this note. Be gentle with yourself. We're gentle with other people, but we tend to be gentle with ourselves. Accept what cannot be and make possible what can be. Don't get stuck on the negative. Make your life positive. You can do it no matter what spiritual designation you find yourself. It is possible. Always remember, you cannot help others if your glass is empty. You cannot give someone a drop of water if you do not find your strength. This is around this time people are doing yearly checkup. When's the last time you had a physical? When's the last time you saw your specialist? When's the last time you went out and went for a walk? Today is a beautiful day here in New York City. I mean, beautiful. I mean, I had to run some errands, so I had the wonderful experience of running out. If you don't have anything to do today and you don't do anything today, although you should be doing some spring cleaning, I do recommend that. Go for a walk and sort things out. Life is not that difficult where you cannot come up with a positive solution to any problem you face. Take care of you, and then you could take care of all else in life. On that note, I'm going to say, have a beautiful week. Do your monthly checkup. Do your journaling if you are journaling. And remember, you matter. And you are part of the mass ecosystem of humanity. But you have to take care of you. What do you need to take care of you? Ladies and gentlemen, manicures and pedicures, get yourself ready for the summer. Manicure and pedicure make you feel good. What makes you feel good? And that makes a big difference. On that note, I'm going to say, have a beautiful week. Thank you for joining me here for the weekly brunch. Next week, we have a very interesting topic. So start thinking about hobbies after you do your homework of checking to see where you are. You are important to you. And when you are important to you, you are important to all that surrounds you. Remember that. Till next week.